Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hello, the beautiful people of the world. It's so nice to see you today. And that's why I'm here for you, because I love you so true. I do. Isn't that a nice way to start? Is that too much for a Monday? Maybe I should tone it down a notch when we start on a Monday, right? Because it is a Monday. We're starting the week over again. Well, we're not starting the week over again because this week is new. So we're not really have to start it over again because we're actually just starting it. Although technically the week starts on a Sunday. So yesterday was really the start of the weekend. We're kind of like right into it now. Isn't that kind of funny though, as an aside, because I do a lot of those type of things. We always kind of think of Mondays the beginning of the week, but truthfully Sunday's the beginning of the week. And Sunday's the most like down day of all. Not down as like depressing, but down as like, you want to kind of chill and relax. But there's stories about that too. We talk about all kinds of stuff here on Operation Status Quo. By the way, I am Pete Palma. Thank you for being here today on Operation Status Quo, where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then of course we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So if you're new here, thank you and welcome. It's a place of love, joy, togetherness, a place not to get upset, not to get worked up, not to get too mad, not to attach to too many things, but just to kind of observe what's going on in the world and, know how to flow with what's going on out there. And then we can make our choices to make our lives as abundant and positive as they possibly can be for each and every one of us as individuals, because that's really what it's all about. But to go back to what I was saying about the days of the week, there's a whole thing too. I always talk about, obviously, our mainstream structures and how they're designed basically to always keep us off kilter in one degree or another. Nothing's ever the absolute or, the authentic, I should say, truth behind some of the symbology and things, ways of life. Even our calendar, the moon always has like a 28-day cycle. So the months really should all just be 28 days. Everything would flow naturally, as opposed to, we do this 31 and, 31 days, 30 days, then in February it is 28 days unless you have a leap year, so they kind of like, it's always kind of messing everything up. Same thing with the days of the week, like really, from research I've done and some people I've heard speak and such, they're actually Sunday should be the most productive day of the week. Like instead, it's utilized as a day of total relaxing, but it's the initiation of the energy of the week, and really Sunday should be a very active. A Saturday should be the day of like as how we treat Sunday is what really Saturday should be. You see, so there's always things going on in our world that are meant to obfuscate and keep us separate from our true essence, and it's pretty much what's going on in the way of the world today. And the beautiful thing, though, the beautiful thing is like this stuff has been going on obviously for multiple generations, but here we are in a beautiful time of humanity where people are learning and growing and seeing things from a different perspective. Doesn't mean everything you have to take everything as total truth or whatever. I think the most important thing to always remember when we talk about all these things, I personally am passionate about the things that I'm passionate about and believe the things that I believe, is through my perception and energy vibration or whatever. But I think the most important thing to always remember is that we don't know anything. The one thing I always say, the one thing I know the most is that I really don't know anything. No matter how much you know, there's always more to know. And just because you know something doesn't mean it's true or you actually know. It means it's what you know. It's what resonates with you at that time, right? For that situation. There's things I'm sure that you believed in your life in certain years, where now, as you get older, you might see the same situation from a totally different perspective, and you don't agree with the same, terms that you would have, and conditions possibly that you would have put that particular situation in the past. You might see things in a different way. A good example of this too is, I always use my example. I see so much at the pool. It's the craziest thing. Because I'm just kind of swimming around and, I kind of meditative and I'm just observing, and when I was younger, I couldn't stand bugs. Of course, I'd step on the bug or, a bug. Everything's a big deal, about a bug. And, now when I I go swimming a lot of times, there's always these little dragonflies that land by the side of the pool. And they're really cool. Some of them are just like beautiful colors. And it's neat to see their little bodies. I never had really, got into it before, but over the past couple of years, whatever, I've been into the dragonflies, especially since I moved down here to Florida, because they're just all over the place and always follow me around when I'm outside. But anyway, long story short, and long story longer, because that's what I do here. But I was one time when I was swimming, there was a couple kids, and I went by, and there's the little dragonfly, and I go, oh, I just kind of say, hey, little dragonfly, as I swim by, and then the kids kind of went over to the same area I was when they were swimming, and I saw that they saw the dragonfly, and right away they splashed water, out of the pool at it to shoo it away, and I was like, oh no, don't you do that to that damn dragonfly. I like that dragonfly. Leave him alone, won't you? Just leave him alone, please. Oh, say, can you see? I'm sorry. Can we be done with that, please? Are we done? Thank you. I'm sorry, just a random tangent. That's what happens here on Operation Status Quo. By the way, how you doing out there today? The most important thing I want you to know is that I come on each and every day. Well, most days, how it goes. And I'm here to just kind of encourage people to stay positive no matter what's going on in the world. We talk about all kinds of different things. Of course, your opinion matters to me, so I'm happy to receive any information you'd like to share, whether you drop it in the comments, the live chat while you're here, or whether you, send me a email or whatnot. My information is in the contact information in the description box below, so you can tell me what's on your mind and what topics you'd like to discuss, or let me know that when you feel warm and fuzzy when you sit here and take the time to be with Operation Status Quo and the positive vibes that we're trying to send out to the world out there, because each and every one of us are beautiful individuals created by divinity. We're all part of one synchronistic energy that's perfection, in of itself. And that's what makes our world so crazy, right? When you I say that kind of stuff, I think sometimes, I'm sure, and that's what I'm going to get into with my topic today, but I can see why people would think oh, what's this guy off his rocker, or it sounds hoity-toity. I don't know, whatever people, think. They think it sounds like, I don't know what people think, I just know that at the end of the day, there's really nothing to fight about and be upset about. I don't want to fight. Like I always say, I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. Like why do we want problems? And the truth is, life doesn't have to be that complicated. Again, it comes down to how programmed we've been overall, just in general, the way the world. The commercialism, always about selling products. Everything is about image of, how do you look? Do you smell good enough? All these type of things, and and it kind of pushes us away from staying centered and finding what works for each and every one of us. Oh, hold on here a second. I'm going to have to let's see who's calling me at this time. Oh, hold on. It's my mother, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just real quickly let her know. Hello. Listen now. I'm live on YouTube doing my show.
No problem. I just want to tell you the package came.
Okay. All right. Well, I got you on. So you want to tell the audience about your package?
No, I don't. I just wanted to thank you for all the information you did give me, because it was very helpful.
Well, all right. Well, that's right. Let me give a round of applause, because I got my audience here, and they're hearing a positive feedback from someone in my life. This is my actual mother, ladies and gentlemen. I helped her with something. The project came to fruition, and she's happy. Hey-o. All right. I'm going to call you back in a little bit, okay?
Absolutely.
All right. Enjoy your.
Good show.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. That only depends on the audience, and myself too. But I understand. Okay. All right. God bless you. I'll talk to you later.
God bless you too.
All right. Bye. All right. Had to let her go. But I couldn't not answer the phone, ladies and gentlemen. How can you turn your mommy away? You can't turn your mommy away. The one thing I've always said is that you will never find, unless you have some kind of crackhead mother, and if you do, I really apologize. But in general, especially as an Italian male as myself, you're never going to find a woman that loves you as much as your mommy. So just a round of applause for my mommy. Me and my mommy. Me and my mommy. No. It's always an interesting dynamic relationship with your parents, but it works out for us. We're all right.
Hey-o.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so back to where I was. Today's what is today, by the way? I was talking about us being individuals and not being anyway. Let me just go off that tangent and get to the heart of the matter here so I can move forward. Today's program, but today is the 24th. Oh my God, this brain. Can somebody help this brain, please? I'm working on it, ladies and gentlemen, but it outruns me and I can't keep up with it. Today is the 24th of July in the good year 2023. Hello and welcome once again to Operation Status Quo. Hey, while you're here, maybe click subscribe and share, something like that. Click like, send it out to your family, friends. Let's get this thing going. Send it out to your mommy, right? Send it out to your mommy. But anyway, And today's program is entitled "Who Are You?" Dun 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 dun. Bum 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 bum. Boo 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 boo. But I say that because who we're basically, you're born into this world, and you're basically just I don't even know how to say it. Like you're not conscious the way you're conscious as an adult, right? Where you're like in this linear thinking all the time. Like kids are just kind of out and like they're spacey. They came from the other side, and their energy is just being converted basically into this physical incarnation. So they have to kind of learn the parameters thereof. But as the brain develops and becomes more, conducive to taking in the information that's being well, the thing is, your brain's a computer, right? So ultimately, you're being programmed. That's why I always talk about how important it is to be responsible for your thoughts, to monitor your thoughts, to be in control of your thoughts, and not just to be reactive, and to be aware of what you're taking in and all that. But there's two facets to what I kind of wanted to say today. And, one is the who are you in general of like, if somebody came up to you and, said, who are you? Most people, what do? They talk about what they do for a living. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not who you are in a way. It really all depends on whether you're living in alignment to your essence and yourself. Again, being honest with yourself, who you are, what works for you, without limiting yourself to the confines of the societal constructs, as it were, I have to, live in this type of area, or I have to have this many children, or I have to drive this type of car, or, any of that type of stuff that kind of keeps people locked into, well, I got to pay the bills, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, but they never really connect to who they are. And, but now if you're doing a job that it is in line with, who you really are, it's something that you've always believed in. Like, for me, I just talk about even like doing the show, for better, for worse, whatever it is, audience, no audience, I just mean in general, I always say, even if I was like independently wealthy, I have millions of dollars in the bank, I still would come on and do the show because, it comes from my heart. I really enjoy speaking, and, I look forward to, listen, everything in life is a process and things grow, right? So here I am today doing this, and I just keep sending out the messages, and when the time is right, they'll hit the ears that they need to hit, so, and if they're not meant to hit any ears, well, darn it, I'm listening and I'm enjoying. How you doing? Hey, Pete, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for being here. No, I appreciate being here. Actually, I couldn't be here if you weren't here. I wouldn't be here. Well, I wouldn't be here if you weren't here. We're both here. Hey-o. Yeah. Figure that one out. So yeah, there's always that kind of who are you? Like, right away we just kind of take it down to the basic level of, well, who are you? I'm a lawyer. I'm a accountant. I'm a fireman. But just that's one part of it. But the other part of it, to me, of the who are you, really comes down to, and it's a very interesting dynamic, because I had spoken to this person that does like medium work before, and just talking about like sometimes when you're in relationships with people, or just not even have to be relationships, but I mean obviously when you're friends or family or intimate relationships, any of that type of stuff, you find out things more so, right? Because you're closer with those people. But in general, and I realized this from a long time ago, that just because we all look alike, as far as like arms and legs and eyes and ears, like humanoid beings, just because we look alike doesn't necessarily mean we're the same like species, in a sense, for the lack of a better word, like underneath, right? Like some people, even though two humans are together, it could be the one human's more is an elephant and the other human is a lion, and like those two just aren't going to be able to mingle or something like that, or so I find that kind of, and why I'm bringing that up and why I'm saying that is because I notice when I go through my day to day, a lot of times, like I don't feel like, I don't want to say I don't feel part of this world, but I don't really feel connected sometimes. Like I just notice that there's nobody to connect with, is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm very friendly, try to say hello to people, and like so many people always kind of have their back up, or they're always on defense. They're always nervous about what are your motives for even saying hello to me or something like that. And I just feel it a lot of people wanting to like shy away from others and keep to themselves. And to me, that's the bigger who are you about the show. Again, the first part is just realizing who are you underneath all the labels that you give yourself of this life, electrician, father, mother, teacher, whatever those labels, if those resonate as part of your truth and you're living true to your heart, then that's all cool, but I'm saying if you're just like spouting off like, either or you have no idea who you are, or what the question even means. Like, to me, that's stuff to dig deeper into. But that's the one side. But the side that really, gets me even more is like I just feel like I don't even know. Like I do feel like I'm with different species. Like I'm like, it's so odd to me that people don't want to connect. I find it interesting that there's so much trepidation in what should be something so natural for humans to engage with one another and encourage one another. And I'm not saying people don't. I mean, obviously the world has gotten so out of control, crazy over this time. I mean, just everything that's been going on before COVID that was leading up to, and then since COVID, obviously, everybody's in kind of a different space and, the world's not settled and everybody's just kind of, I guess hunkering down in certain ways, and not just, physically, but like emotionally, spiritually as well. And, I find and feel that this is a time to expand and to, recapture our truth and our essence and and who we are, what we want for our children and future generations. What does it mean to be human? What can we, each and every one of us, do to help contribute and give back to create better for all of us? And it's a shame because the powers that be are still pumping stuff into people's heads. They're still always just trying to divert. Oh, every time you try to, if you think about it, like every time you want to kind of go inside and, let it all go and be quiet, something else comes up that's trying to divert, whether it's, whatever news story comes on or whatever, right? Another war, another asteroid, another volcano. I mean, whatever the case may be, it's always something. And, climate, especially the way they're going on with the climate change now. I mean, that's a huge one. They just keep. And I like how they talk too when they go on the news and say, now that it's been so hot this summer and caused due to human caused climate change. They always say human caused climate change, and I guess it's the proof is out there. I'm not trying to prove any kind of crazy conspiracy theory or anything. Please, I would encourage you, go research for yourself. The Earth goes in cycles, and the magnetic poles shift and such. I'm not a scientist, okay, but what I'm saying is this is a natural pattern for the Earth. Are the things that we're doing, they're not good, obviously. I mean, because we're being disrespectful and not showing reverence to the planet in the way we treat it and the way we abuse the resources. But at the end of the day, whether we were here or not, the planet would still go through this change of climate and temperatures and whatever, because that's just part of the normal cycle of the living entity of the Earth, So, and again, as I said from in the beginning of this program, right? They always take, like I was talking about the days of the week and the months, right? They take something and they flip it around. They won't come out and just say, why would they not? Like this is what I'm trying to say. This is why we have to stop, believing in all this stuff and start and stop listening to the outside and go inside. I mean, any person with common sense, like, a society, why would we would understand this is how the Earth operates, and we'd be prepared for generations before. Like, okay, around this time, the Earth is going to go through this shift. You could start planning for it and work with it instead of making like a profit out of it and then dividing people over who's green, who's not green, and, all that type of stuff. And then even when, the other day, I'm just going to bring this up too for whatever reason, but when I did the show a couple days ago about the plug that tap, I called it, talking about drinking water and not drinking from the tap and everything. I just saw this other video. I was from Joe Rogan actually, and Kennedy was on there and talking about the chemicals that they put in the water, and I forgot which chemical it was, but they did these tests, and the chemicals turned, they put a bunch of frogs in with this water with this chemical, and a bunch of them turned, male frogs turned into female frogs, and a bunch of the other male frogs, became neutered, basically sterile. So, and I'm not trying to make a whole big stink out of it. I'm saying this like again. Even with everything that's going on with that trans thing, man, it's just insane. It's just insane to me because like they just want to convince everybody that like gender is a choice. Like again, right? I mean, there are situations that warrant everything, and I don't think anything should be shunned. I really, really don't, But when you see it done as a purposeful agenda, when they're actually putting chemicals in the water to try to estrogenize the society, and to, I mean, it's been a war on testosterone forever. I mean, it started even with, it's all part of the same thing. Like they don't want men to be men in a way because, like, they don't want anybody of power, to have power to fight back. They want like a weak, homogenized society so that they can maintain control. And I apologize because, if it offends anybody, what I'm trying to say here, I mean, it's not meant in that regard. I mean, again, first and foremost, everyone has a right to be who they are and do what feels right to them. And I encourage that 100%. But what I don't encourage is that, people are being manipulated from day one and don't even really know who they are, right? So we're going back to who are you, right? And you don't even really know. Like all it is this programming between the media and the whatever education they try to put in the schools to talk about this stuff, what they say in the movies, how the celebrities present themselves and act, and it's really just it's so subtle and over the top. Everybody just thinks like when you're watching a movie, or you see a commercial, it's just a commercial, but it really is a lot deeper than that. And then of course another step of actually putting chemicals in the food and the water to affect the population in such a way. I mean, right? I mean, you would have to say that's not against somebody being a transgender. I mean, they're putting shit in the water to F people up and mess up people's bodies and mess up their brains. And, I'm not saying that's true for every person again, right? But I mean, they are actively trying to create a large segment of the population and just kind of breed them in that capacity. So this is why I'm just going to leave it with this, because I don't want to get too far off topic with that. But, of course, I'm always kind of trying to tap into what's going on in the everyday world, right? And just relate it all kind of back together. Who are you? And, that choice really is yours, and you find that from within, not from what's going on in the outer world. So I would just encourage everyone, best you can, to kind of sit with the information, and to just be with breath, to go to your heart space, and all the answers are there, and whatever it is for you that's meant to be right in your life, it's all good. But we have to be mindful that there are people out there that powers that be that know a lot more than we do about psychology and the real universal laws, and they're using them against people to maintain power. And it's plain and simple, from the pharmaceuticals to the actually they say education, lack of education, to our monetary debt system, keeping people in debt all the time. It's all just like being under the lash, getting whipped. It's like just one lash after the next, of all that kind of stuff to keep people down. So who are you? It's up to you, but go be whoever that is, and be the best of that. And don't let what our outside world tries to say you should be, or the confines within it you should stay. Don't attach the meaning of your life or the value of your life based on, these ideals that really don't resonate with ultimate truth, right? And oneness and source and all that. So anyway, I think that's it. I think we did a pretty good one today. What do you think? You tell me in the comments. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. You remember that song? Well, I was a Weird Al Yankovic fan back in the day, so it was Midnight Star. I want to know, they're keeping Hitler's brain alive inside a jar. I want to know. Anyway, he did a song about, I guess it kind of was supposed to be about the National Enquirer, I would guess, all those crazy stories, and that's what he said, They're keeping Hitler's brain alive inside a jar. Midnight Star. I want to know. I want to know. So I apologize for that. I really like singing. I think maybe I should do a whole show of just singing things one time. I think I say that all the time. I don't know. Singing is very fun. Comes from the soul. Do that. That comes from my soul. Maybe I should be a singer. Maybe that's what I'm meant to be. Oh, solo mio. I could be opera, right? Does that sound pretty good for opera? Operation Status Quo.
Heyo.
All right, seriously, I love you guys out there individually as well as a group. You know that. I never, ever lie about that. Please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I appreciate your time being here. God bless each and every one of you. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo disengaged.